This courtyard was a boring dead space, but I have a simple plan to fix that. Using basic wall building techniques, I'll create a garden bed and seating and then dress it up to become a fabulous feature. It's easily built using readily available and cost-effective treated pine. Here's what you'll need. Start by measuring and setting out for your bed. In my case, I made the bed 2.4 metres wide so I could just use full-length sleepers. Use a straight edge or string line to keep the front straight as you mark, and then use a builder's square and straight edge to make sure the sides are square relative to the front. Following the marked lines, pavers were removed in the area of the bed with a little extra room allowed around the location of the posts. For a wall of this size, posts will be every 1200mm apart and at each end. Dig the post holes at your marked points. Cut a length of sleeper to around 500mm in length. Place a full 200 by 50mm sleeper along the front, resting on the ground. Bring to level and use that cut section as a temporary support, clamping it in place. Measure for the centre post, adding 200mm for the next sleeper row. Cut a length to suit from the 200 by 75mm sleeper. Check the level, drop the cut length into the centre hole and secure with 100mm screws. Add concrete to the post hole, checking everything is level and plumb as you do. You can now repeat for the end posts and then add the second level of horizontal sleepers, securing them in place with 100mm screws. Lay a sleeper flat on top of the front as capping and use your square to align it correctly and evenly. You'll want it with an overhang of at least 20mm in front of the post faces. Secure with 100mm screws fixing down to the posts and the face sleeper. Repeat for the sides. Mark your blueboard to 400mm widths and the correct lengths for front and sides, and then cut. Paint the sections you've cut to size and leave to dry. The texture paint will give the blueboard a look similar to rendered concrete. Cut 3 2500mm lengths of decking. Place one section at the front of the top sleeper evenly overhanging each end. Use the square to position the edge 35mm out from the face. Clamp in place, countersink and screw down with 50mm screws. Repeat for 2 more slats along the front. With your square at the 45-degree position, mark a line from the inside to the outside corners of the sleeper capping. Set your power saw to the thickness of the decking and saw along the marked line. Repeat for the other end. For the sides, measure lengths starting from the inside edge. Make 45-degree cuts on one end and square on the other, and then screw them down. Apply a generous amount of construction adhesive to the face of the posts. If needed, add some additional blocks of sleeper offcuts evenly spaced between the posts to keep the blueboard rigid. Position your cut and painted blueboard sheet on the front face, pressing firmly into the adhesive. This should grab enough to hold it in place as you drive in the screws. Pre-drill, countersink and secure with 50mm screws. Repeat for the sides. Cut lengths of decking to fit on the face of the front and sides flush with the bottom of the decking installed above. Secure with 50mm screws. Cut lengths of aluminium angle to fit on the corners and conceal the joins. Secure these with construction adhesive. Use an exterior filler to cover the screw heads in the blueboard and then touch up the paint when dry. Fill the bed with soil and plant out. I used a native lemon-scented myrtle as the centre feature and surrounded it with pink cordyline. At the base of the bed I added a border of dwarf mondo grass to soften the transition from paving to wall. Oil the decking timber. Add a good layer of mulch. Water wheel and you're done. A relatively simple and impressive transformation, even if I do say so myself.